Hello, lovely ladies and gentlemen around the world. My name is Abraham Bolalawal. The title of this presentation is The Horrible History. That is Nigeria Horrible History. Nigeria was sold to Britain for 865,000 pounds. I will be reading from one of my books published some years back. Nigeria was created on the foundation of corruption, to say the least. George Tubman Golding, 1846 to 1925, was a British merchant, military officer, and explorer who worked assiduously to pave way for British rule in the Niger area as a British colony, after preventing other foreign countries such as Germany and France, who also had both economic and political interests in annexing the Niger area as their own colony. It was the Niger area that was later coined Nigeria by Flora Louise Shaw, that's Lady Lugard. The strategy employed was to make Nigeria kings and warrant chiefs to sign a treaty with the company he formed to cede all their political and administrative power to his company, the United African Company, which was later changed to National African Company. In 1886, the company became the Royal Niger Company, which he now ceded to the British Crown for about 865,000 pounds and transferred its territories of Nigeria to Britain as a Northern and Southern protectorates in 1900. How did Goldie achieve this for Britain? Goldie, together with all his past successors, used one important method. Goldie identified his commercial interest in a territory in Africa. It was in 1886 when the Royal Niger Company was formed and incorporated as a British company, though operating in what is today known as Nigeria. As part of Goldie's strategy that appeared to help him in his exploration and conquest, he formed the constabulary known as Hausa Militia or Hausa Constabulary. There were 20 people and were all Hausas. It was the constabulary that later grew in number and operation to become the Nigeria Armed Forces of over 200,000 officers and men today in Nigeria. This may be the reason why it appears that there are more soldiers or people with military connections in the northern part of Nigeria than in any other part of the country. Excuse me. The role of Goldie's Hausa militia was to provide his company with security and to suppress any local opposition that might come from the kings, chiefs, or the indigenes. In return, the militias enjoyed prestige and power that came with their enforcement role. After Golding, Nigeria began with the era of a constitutional development, which was named after each incumbent colonial governor. We had Lord Lugard, Constitution 1914 to 1922, the Hugh Clifford Constitution 1922 to 1946, Otto Richard Constitution 1946 to 1951, John Macpherson Constitution 1951 to 1954, and Oliver Littington Constitution 1954 to 1960. Oliver Littington Constitution was an instrument towards Nigeria's independence in 1960. Going forward, to address the issues properly, let us bring onto the table the proposed Nigerian vision. What is the Nigerian vision? A multicultural society that is based on equality and partnerships, the mutual coexistence of a genuine community that is safe, friendly, accepts, and celebrates differences. Nigeria became independent in 1960. It obtained political independence and later became a republic in 1963. However, the only thing that changed was that white rulership was replaced by black rulership, with the status quo unchanged. White masters were only replaced with black masters. It is always the same with all the cultures and tribes in Nigeria without any exception. There has been no level playing ground. It now depends on how much you can navigate the storm and follow the flow. It is now more or less become the survival of the fittest. Ironically, before the British official colonization in Nigeria, religions were introduced as agents of imperialism. It was first used to reach out to people as superior religion, and people were discouraged from being idol worshippers. And those who challenged them were silenced, severely dealt with, and even killed. They did not achieve all that without the help of Nigerian local kings and chiefs. Even in the East, where there were no kings, warrant chiefs were appointed to help the British in the indirect rule. After independence, the privileged few Nigerians who ascended the authority and their successors had been using the same strategy to remain in power. Not everything is bad about the introduced foreign religion, because the religious organization established schools and hospitals in Nigeria like Catholic schools, Ahmadiyya schools, Baptist schools, Islamic schools, Anglican schools, and others. We have to be wary of religion and its true purpose and be able to separate it from governance and stop using it the same way the colonial master used it negatively on us. Then, consciously and unconsciously, we now use it on ourselves by ourselves. The aim of religion is to provide people that follow their faith with emotional stability. Anything outside that has to be questioned critically. We must separate governance from religion. Building churches and mosques in local government offices should be discontinued. It is unconstitutional. It is against the Nigerian Constitution, Chapter 1, Section 10. The government of the federation or state shall not adopt any religion as state religion. You do not need to have a religion to be a Nigerian. If you want to go to heaven according to Christian or Al-Jannah according to Muslim, it is your choice. You cannot be rubbing your religion on everyone's faces or perpetrate a crime against humanity indirectly by helping some people stay in power, and you as a religious leader gaining financial benefits at the peril of your followership. There is freedom of religion and people can change from one to another at will. We have to take religion out of local government offices and governance offices in Nigeria. Where do you put people who do not believe in God? They have the same right as you as a Nigerian. What needs to change is not to have a society of the oppressed and the oppressors, but a society of people with equal opportunity, aspiration, dreams, and equal access to national wealth. More importantly, excuse me, it is crucial to address issues of barrier to citizens' participation at all levels, both at the local, regional, and national levels, in education, training, healthcare, housing, employment, and welfare. Child protection is a must. Child protection is at the forefront of global initiative on sustainable development. It is an internationally demanding program which provides international legitimacy to any government that adopts measures in support of this initiative. Nigerians are hopeful for change, not just in the ambit of war and corruption, but in the development of a universal system for sustainable future in Nigeria. The anti-corruption war is credible. However, do you know that to every Nigerian born in Nigeria or in the diasporas knows that Nigeria is the only country in the world that counts as home? So we must ensure that that home, the only home that we have, is properly look after. And it is the people in that home that will make that home. The attractiveness of Nigeria is a collective responsibility and obligation for this present administration to build a conducive, safe, and competitive environment. Nigeria, as a great nation, needs to work towards the protection of its citizens from being vulnerable to oppression and exploitations. If Nigerian children are exploited for selfish ends in being employed for cheap labor, such as being house helps or omodo, outside we condemn our action and question our credibility as the giant of Africa. Sadly, Boko Haram has already exploited the situation of child vulnerability by forcefully recruiting neglected children, some of whom are now adults, and sending them on bombing missions in the northern part of Nigeria. This presentation is going to continue in the next video until our path cross again. I remain yours, Abraham Bola Lawal. Have a nice day.